Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After Podcast.
How's it going, guys?
Episode 3 of season
I, you know,
41.
I enjoy. I was there for the ride, and I enjoyed it. You
Of
know,
course you would. Of course. Are you just
well,
happy that this one guy goes? I'm actually more upset overall of the episode than just that.
no, I mean, like, I mean, the episode and stuff. I guess we'll go to it. It was interesting how they just kind of had the like advantage out for anyone to see.
Yeah.
I think that was, I think that was more so like because they needed the people for the challenge. I don't think they were like, oh, they're not looking or anything. It was just more so like they
I mean,
needed.
I really think there's not a lot of people looking for idols or advantages this season, considering the Lulu tribe has yet to also find anything for this
they've
idol.
yet they've yet to need to find idols or
Yeah,
anything.
and Brad basically just kept like stumbling upon idols and advantages this
Full
episode.
advantages and stuff. Yeah. Um, I don't know, like I think that's like the interesting thing. Like I get what they were trying to do because obviously like they wanted a different way other than like drawing rocks and stuff and see if they can do it
Yeah,
subtly.
yeah,
Um but I feel like how they did the prisoner's dilemma because I feel like that's just their
yeah,
thing this season.
yeah.
um
I think that there's just too much stuff getting added into Survivor at this point that I think most fans have no idea who has what advantages, what disadvantages. They don't know anything. There's just so many different like this person doesn't have a vote, but this person has an extra vote, which apparently I guess it was also kind of shown that Brad couldn't steal a vote because he didn't have a vote in the first place.
yeah,
Because which I don't get that. Why can't he still steal a vote? You know, it's stealing someone else's vote and using it
because you
as your
can't
own.
use the vote
But
because you can't vote,
yeah,
so
yeah.
therefore
You
you can't.
lost your votes, but you can still get an extra vote.
Honestly, with how things went, I don't think Brad thought he was in danger at all.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I agree. I don't know if he would have used it, but that's something I had always thought you could do is if you ever lost your vote but had an advantage to receive a vote in some way, I figured you could still use that.
Yeah, um I feel like it is a thing where because like in more recent seasons they kind of, with their little what is it? Title card at the bottom, they usually would say like, oh, they have this.
Mhm.
I wasn't looking out for it if that's still the case, but like
Yeah.
it is a
It,
helpful tool
they
for.
do it every now and then when they're like specifically talking like, hey, I don't have like when they're already saying it to you, that's when they like flash it. So it's like unless they're specifically talking about their game or something, you will not see it. Um
Yeah,
and
interesting.
yeah, and like they usually don't talk about it until they're like about to use it or they found it. So those are like the big times where you see, it come up.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I was really against them just kind of leaving it at camp. Like I'd rather, them have like a specific day that they would have said like, okay, everyone on this day, that's when it will happen, and anyone who does find it will get a go. And I'd rather have something in that regard instead of just put it right next to the fire so someone's guaranteed to see it.
uh,
And also we got Brad now with he found an idol, so it was like, oh, Xander might eventually get to be able to vote and do the one thing you want to be able to do in the game. And then he gets voted out. So now what happens with this idol? Is it re-hidden? Are they going to just put it
I
next to camp so someone else can find it so it's
I
guaranteed?
don't think it's gonna be like that though. I mean, like people look for idols when they look for idols, like especially in the beginning, and especially since there's only like because we see it time and time again. You go looking for an idol too early, it puts a huge target on your back.
Yeah,
And
well,
so, like,
I think the problem with this three idol thing this season is that usually the tribe that is winning everything they don't care as much to look for these idols because they have this such a strong tribe that they're literally just like, we don't have to do anything. Like let's just win challenges and make it to the merge. So we really might have a situation where Xander just can't vote pre-merge because
or maybe
of
at all.
this idol. Yeah, exactly. Like what happens if no one finds, what if they merge, no one finds like 2 of these idols? Are they going to then re-hide 2 idols in the merge and then hope that
I think maybe production would probably be like, okay, you can vote, or like he would get like a note or something and be like, okay, you can vote now, but that idol is null and void.
Yeah. And what happens if Xander gets voted out next episode with an idol and no one finds idols? Are they just going to then have to scrap the idea? Because there's no way they're
at least with the Yesa tribe, they know that Xander had it. And so if he gets voted out, that'll be hidden again. And if anything, I feel Yesa would be in a advantage because like all they have to do is wait for 2 people to say it, and then they know to look for the idol.
And it's going to be so crazy now because someone has to repeat what Brad said if with his idol, so someone has to like they'll probably have to reference what Brad said in
Brad butchered that. He was not smooth at all.
Oh, it was terrible.
Xander fit it in nicely. That was one thing that I noticed. He was like, he fit it, he was very like, conversational about it. So it wouldn't have, if people didn't know, they wouldn't have been none the wiser about it.
I mean, this is also a thing I was thinking over this week. Like, I feel like Xander has one way to kind of like re-say it in like a good way, and I think he did it here, where he kind of almost referenced his last time, where he was just like, "Yeah, it was a like how he said it like this or whatever." But now he doesn't have that again. So now he's got to reference it again at the next immunity challenge if someone else brings it up.
Maybe a butterfly will, a train butterfly will be sent in by production, and it'll just fly over Xander. And then you're like, I truly believe that butterflies are dead relatives saying hi.
At some point, though, you just gotta admit this is just getting too ridiculous of like trying to make this work, that it's so like being forced that they're trying to do something to hinder the idols, but they don't really know how to. So they're like, let's take away your votes. But then they didn't realize that, some 3 idols might not be found at the same time.
I feel like it had to be a thing where they need to, if they didn't have to repeat it, it would have been fine. But I also feel that if they didn't, because I feel like the penalty for like not being able to vote, it's a good twist. It's just, it's hard to like, when it's the meta and stuff, to really change it up mid-game. It's also interesting because like right now we're down to 14 people. It's more than likely we will probably reach the merge either episode 6 or at the latest episode 7 when there's down to
I believe 6, just because they are kind of indicating that it's a 6 pre-merge season.
And I mean, like this, like they said, this is a fast-paced game. We already lost 2 people the very first episode. We're already down 2 more, so like it's fast approaching. I mean, it's something where I think on paper it works. It's just like they kind of have to test things out like this to see how.
I mean, I think the problem is that they had a year to plan and come up with every different scenario of what can happen. And it seems like this is a scenario that is very often the case. Like, it's very rare on a 3-tribe season for all 3 idols to be found in the same time. Like sometimes there's tribes that just cannot find idols. Like, they just don't have any idol finders, and they just are very unlucky.
I think that might be the thing, where maybe this group, because when you have a sometimes there is like a team that's just like, dominating, but like you never truly know that. And who knows if there's actually going to be a tribe swap. The thing is, we don't know, because it is like, 18 people, and that would be for like 2, maybe 3 eliminations.
Yeah.
Granted, they've done it like that in the past, but I feel
Yeah. I think what would have been a better choice instead of just taking their vote until all 3 idols are found is that you just lose your vote at the next tribal council. So you have to kind of go one tribal council without a vote. And if you can manage to navigate that, then I think you can vote, but the idol can still not be activated until people find it. Like, that's fine. Like, I'm more fine with that. I'm really just against the idea that you can kind of just play the entire game with no vote potentially.
yeah, I mean, it create. I would say that yeah, it sucks for the players, but it does give like an interesting like underdog story to Xander.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah, I
sure
mean, he's definitely super likable at this point. I think everyone's gonna have to be rooting for Xander just because at least that's the not obvious choice to go home over there.
yeah. I mean, you never know. I mean, if we're going to the immunity challenge, Tiffany did kind of redeem herself a little bit
Mhm.
by, doing better at like the
Yeah,
balance
I
portion.
thought she was gonna fall for sure. Like, there was a few moments where she was very
She was,
clearly
yeah, she was
close.
dangling at
Yeah, yeah.
uh
And I will say I did like the challenge in this episode. I actually think this was one of the better parts of the episode was the challenge. And I'm not a challenge guy. I typically think they're one of the lower parts, but this it was one of my favorite like modern pre-merge challenges I've seen.
it was fun. It was fun. Though green team was like, that's the team. It's tough because I have stock in every single team, but this was one where I was like, no, Shan's on there, Jeannie's on there, JD's on there. And JD, he was trying to be a little fancy
Yeah.
in the beginning, but I think that's just, his personality and stuff. But when he
Yeah.
was trying to be more practical, it's just like
I think I'm also so salty about how the strategy and how all this played out in the episode of the Uwa tribe. I mean, so first off, Brad goes up to Shan and it gives her full trust by showing the
yeah,
idol. So I want to say that there's a clear, at least Brad gave Shan a lot of trust there. Then JD is found with that extra vote, like clearly in plain sight. Like, it's like so obvious that he's just. I swear he had to have just been like, "Hey guys, look what I have!" Like, kind of
yeah,
like showing off there. But clearly, that's not good faith that he's been lying for this time. So now that decision should be pretty cut and dry. Just like one person is willing to trust you, probably very deep in this game. The other person is playing for themselves.
Well, I mean, it's like, yeah, that whole situation. I feel the good faith thing of JD giving Shan the advantage to hold on to.
uh,
That was something that restored some stock
yeah,
because, like, it's like between JD and Brad. If I'm, Shan or Ricard, it's like, yeah, both are kind of untrustworthy, but one is still willing to work with you.
yeah,
So it's like the devil instead of the devil you don't.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well, I'm also another thing that annoyed me was, remember Shan's villain music? Well,
yeah,
that shit started playing when she was talking to JD, like trying to convince him, yeah, you're good, you're safe. Like, she was like playing that angle to him. Her villain music starts playing, and it becomes very obvious, like, oh, then she should be. This is like her big villainous moment that she can kind of show off her villain side with the music, and it makes sense. And it just didn't. Like, no, like, why didn't she have the villain music when she was talking to Brad? Like,
it could be misdirection because, like, this season, or
yeah,
like, because like
I don't know.
they,
I
they
think
try and do that
misdirection.
with editing sometimes. Like, there was one little thing, and it was with Brad specifically, when he found the Beware thing, the first one, he mentioned in his like little confessional, it sounded like he found it more than one. So I was wondering if, does he find something else in a future episode?
Yeah. I noticed a few things with Brad this episode where what he said foreshadowed what ended up happening. Like when he did go and do the steal vote or tarp part, he referenced that either one of the girls wasn't going to get it. So it became very clear, and it was clear that they had talked to each other like before they went and made their decision, like what they were going to do. So yeah, I think Brad kind of let us know a little bit ahead of time.
I mean, this is the season of no secrets. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of like the final season of Game of Thrones, where it was like, we need to keep this secret. Everyone says everything to everyone. It's like, there are really no secrets. So it's a little, and I feel Brad, he was definitely someone that was open about everything. I mean, remember the very first episode, he was like, yeah, I'm thinking of getting rid of you, Shan.
I mean, he didn't say he was thinking, he just said what the two names were, and he was like, yeah, it's either these two.
With his smile and everything.
He was I mean, it was clear though that they still liked Brad. It was clear like they liked Brad a lot. Like Shan, like, and this is another thing. I think that they're editing this in the way where I think Shan is going to come out on top over Ricard, but this was clearly Shan did not want to do this move. She did not like the idea that they were losing Brad over JD. Like she was like just like very torn up about it.
The thing is, I feel that going into it, obviously, like, you know, we don't necessarily know, but I feel like Shan is just straight up like, you know, the leader. She's not like a sleeper where Ricard is pulling the strings. If anything, Ricard is second fiddle and Shan's the one that everyone's going to and everything.
I think that's how it's being edited on the screen, but I definitely think this move was Ricard really didn't want Brad, and Ricard was not going to back down on that, and eventually Shan was just like, okay, let's just do that, because Shan is in the position where, I mean, either way, if this tribe ended up going down to only two people, it's Shan and Ricard. It's like those are going to be the final two of this tribe. That won't happen, but like she's in that position regardless. So I think she ultimately decides that it's okay just to go with Ricard, so he's not upset or anything. But I definitely think that this specific move was a Ricard move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting moving forward how this all aligns, because like it is because obviously there was a lot of focus on Brad this episode. Like him and Sydney took up a lot of screen time.
Yeah. It looks like Sydney's going to get a lot of screen time next episode. Hopefully she doesn't quit. That would be awful. Yeah, I mean, she was tearing up, and sometimes they just show like. So, but with the previews before they do a quit, they don't say someone quits the game. They kind of they show someone, you know, very distraught and by themselves and looking out. It's like it's so it might happen, it might not. I'm hoping it doesn't.
I don't think so. Because I feel like, granted, it's a tribe that hasn't gone to tribal council yet.
Yeah.
But it's something where, from what we've seen on that tribe, other than like Dan and Deshawn being pretty active in the beginning, we haven't really seen too much from it, except for, you know, Nasir and Sydney with the last two episodes.
Yeah. Danny has been pretty much invisible since the premiere. He had like a great premiere episode, and then he just kind of disappears.
Yeah. It's just when you're winning all the time, you don't get as much screen time.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate part of that. And they almost lost, to be honest. This was not a dominant Luvu win. Like, it was really any one of the three tribes could have been safe this episode.
Yeah. Which was nice because, like, I think we don't necessarily want to see a Matt Singh situation or a Oolong situation where there's just a straight up decimation. We like seeing the love of tribal councils spread out a little bit.
We want to see more people get pre-merge games, because it's hard to say necessarily that, you know, someone played a great game if they didn't get a play pre-merge. Like
Yeah,
there's a lot of great moments and stuff that happen pre-merge that kind of can get missed if you don't go.
exactly. And that's one of the big things about Michelle Fitzgerald, why, you know, she's not regarded as a great winner. In fact, she's, well, I mean, I feel like her stock definitely went up in Winners at War,
Yeah,
but it was like,
people saw her game at that point, but
exactly. Originally, it was just kind of like, it was just a little out of left field, which, but that's the thing. When you're winning a lot, less screen time, therefore the audience doesn't get as familiar with you.
Exactly.
But let's see. Yeah, I just I mean, obviously we don't know who the winner is yet. And you know, it's always interesting watching these seasons in retrospect, because like you kind of see the moves they play. For the most part, there are some winners that you're just like, yeah, they were kind of in it for the ride. Like, you know, the most famous one being Amber. You know, it was kind of like, yeah, she was kind of like, oh, he's getting all the heat and stuff, but Boston Rob was definitely supposed to win that season.
Yeah,
But
he
you
definitely
know,
had played the game. Like he was the one in control. Just it, you know, early Survivor didn't always recognize that.
yeah, yeah. But I don't know, like I mean, that next episode, it does seem like it could be, because Dan he does say a line where it was like, oh, it's going against my athlete, my every athletic bone in my body or something. And so maybe they are going to throw a
Throw a
challenge. You never
challenge.
really know.
Uh,
Or I don't know, because they can be tricky with their editing.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, another thing that also annoyed me is, so in the premiere episode, they were kind of like, okay, let's get rid of Nasir. Nasir's a problem. Episode 2, we love Nasir. Nasir's great. We can't live without Nasir. Episode 3, we don't like Nasir anymore. like, come on, make up your minds already. Like, you can't every other episode going to be Nasir is going to go home? Is that going to be the trend? Is that every other episode he's saved, every other episode he's in danger?
We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I feel like I said, they just need more screen time for us to know.
Yeah.
Because a lot is always said at First Tribal.
Yeah, I wish that we could get the 2-hour episodes of Survivor. Like, it really almost feels like we need it at this point, because like a 2-hour premiere gives us so much. Like every character, every player seems fleshed out in that episode, and then when they go back to an hour, they can only give like 3 or 4 people screen time. And if you know the same ones kind of keep getting the screen time, you end up realizing, wait a second, there's only like 3 people on the season.
Yeah, I feel like, but I mean, that's kind of how it goes, especially in the beginning, because you know there's 18 people, but as the cast
Yeah.
dwindles. So.
Yeah. Well, another thing also is that they're giving massive edits to these pre-merge people, which I like, in the sense that, you know, everyone's going to kind of seem like relevant in some regards, but you know, we're just going to get to an end game of a bunch of people that we're now getting backstories of. Like, that's what it seems like might happen, is that a lot of these big edits are people who are going to go out maybe a little earlier, and maybe one of those big edits makes it far, but like, I just don't like it. Just seems like every time
help try and get it on our get us, you know, on our toes, you know, because like it, I would say sometimes, I mean, despite the controversy with Thailand and everything, and like how it was just kind of like felt a little dull, stuff like that. Like watching it, I didn't know anything about the season going in, other than, you know, Xi'an being in it. Other than that, did not really know anything else about the season. And so watching it, like pretty early on, I was like, yeah, Brian's gonna win this thing. So it's not always fun to like go through the whole thing and realize, oh, this person is the winner. So like these little like, so it's nice to have like these, like, give attention to like the pre-merge heroes and villains and stuff. So that way they're like, oh, okay. One, it makes their vote out hit a little harder, and two, um, it keeps you on your toes because like, oh, who's gonna win? Because I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of people like say what you want about Brad. Me, I was like, there's something there. Turns out I'm wrong because like now we won't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was great. He was really great TV while we had him. Like, I'm going to say that I really think he was great.
He was well received,
Yeah.
and
I mean, when he made a fake Brad body so he could sneak out, like I
that
thought,
was a
like
little
he was like a Tony Vlachos. Like I don't think anyone would have predicted that he would have gone out there and played like Tony.
it was something where because obviously when we watch it, they have night vision and stuff, the cameramen and everything.
Uh,
But like when I was watching it, I'm like, I sure hope everyone's just asleep and they don't realize this. Because obviously their little editing, JD is kind of like, what's going on here?
yeah,
Uh
yeah. I guarantee you that was just like B-roll of probably something else that was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and they were like, let's just put
It
that as the
worked.
thing.
I mean, Brad, he was a smart player to an extent. I do feel like, social awareness could have been a bit better.
Mhm.
Um, but I think he was good for the time he was on. I do feel
Yeah.
like he should have stayed around for an episode, maybe in
Yeah.
one more tribal council.
Yeah, I think that if we have a pre-merge season, I think they might bring Brad back. Like if they have a pre-merge season in the next like 2 years or so, I think Brad's someone they should definitely reach out to.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Then we see his villain side.
yeah. Well, I just want to see him make the merge because I just think that he's entertaining to be good throughout that. So I just feel like I think there's a lot more that we could have seen of Brad that we got ripped out of. And it just doesn't seem like it was the right move. It just doesn't seem like that was the smart idea to take out Brad over JD.
I mean, I'm biased because I'm rooting for both Shan and
Yeah.
JD. Like I said, it's the devil and plus like
Yeah, but do they really know JD? He lied to them. Like it seems
but
like
it's
they
like
should know. Like it seems like he
the
was in
devil
their
that wants to
alliance.
work with you as opposed to the devil that,
Well, Brad just wanted to work with them too. It was the same situation where he just wanted, like, it seemed like he just wanted them to like him. Like, he just wanted to get their, like, acceptance. And they just decided no. Like, there wasn't, like, a real reason of it. It was just like, I think we should get rid of Brad. Like,
they
it just
they
didn't
have
make
the same
sense.
feeling in their jellies as well. The
Uh,
jellies don't lie.
I just don't think that you can't make a logical guess on a strategic move based off of your jellies. You gotta you
It's
need
called
to
the sixth sense,
you
intuition.
need to think it through, and I think Brad is more willing. Like I can see Brad wanting to bring that like final four of UA to a final four of the game. I don't
But
see
Brad can't
JD
keep a
doing that.
secret,
I
though.
see JD trying to cut Ricard and Shan like 2 or 3 tribals into the merge.
Maybe, but at the same time, I don't know. Like,
I mean, no, I get it. I get it. You're trying to fight for your person because you drafted him, but like just trying to
well, it's not
completely
just
take it
that.
out.
It's just more so of like, because like me watching it, and like, it's more so of like he was doing so much damage control and all that stuff where I
But
felt like
was he really doing damage control? He let people clearly see he had an extra vote, but didn't like just come out and try to tell them. So it looked like he got
gave it to
caught.
them as trust.
like it's damage control at like the worst level. It's clearly it's just not working. Like he is in he should have gone home. He has done so much bad for his gameplay that is just terrible.
We'll see. There is a little thing in the preview that does say, or that could hint that Shan keeps the advantage, but
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing that was mind-boggling why they didn't get rid of him. Shan had the extra vote. She could have kept it. It could have been a Denise do what she did to Sandra.
You never, I don't know.
It just doesn't make any sense logically.
Well, I mean, in the sense where, okay, so another reason to have gotten rid of Brad, 2 advantages versus 1 advantage.
Yeah, 2 advantages he can't use, and we have no idea when he can use them.
Well, I mean, it could be the very
plus Brad was so loyal. I guarantee you that those advantages were not.
Could have been the very next episode, and an extra vote is good, but a steal a vote is even better.
Steal a vote, which he can't use. You know, we have no idea.
Use it then, but it's the possibility of someone finding the idol in the last tribe,
yeah,
and then
but if you vote out JD, Brad is forever loyal to you for this game. Like he is indebted to you, and he is going to be working with those 3 for the the rest of the game. Like that is his goal at that point. I just don't see, like, whereas JD has really no loyal. Like he is waiting to get to the merge so he can probably hop off, because he has destroyed his relationship with this tribe.
So I feel like, he does have like allegiance, or he does have like,
yeah. Well, and like, also because this whole thing got like blown up into proportion of the trust and everything, like it's clear that JD knows that trust has been lost. So when they get to the merge, he already knows that his tribe has less trust in him. Why would he go with them? He's going to want to flip now. Like it just seems like they kept the guaranteed flipper and got rid of the person who is loyal. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
I do feel like it does make sense.
Okay,
we won't know
how. How does it make any sense? Like just let me know.
The way I said, Brad had 2 advantages, and yeah, he couldn't use it now. But now isn't all that's worried. They even said in Tribal Council, you also have to look further down the line.
Yeah, but what's more important in the game, having some advantages or trusts? I think you got to keep around the people who trust you more than the people who don't.
Here's the thing. There are obviously clear parallels between Xander and... what's his name? And Brad, where last week some people were like, they should have gotten rid of Xander because he has an extra vote, and he has the like a potential idol. And then this week, it's literally the same thing, except Brad had something more dangerous.
Yeah,
and now people are complaining that he got voted out.
Yeah, but I think that you got to take in consideration that there is a change in these tribe dynamics. Like, even though that there's a similar in terms of these people have advantages, and now they're upset that this person did get voted out instead of that person. Like, it's not as simple as that. It has to do with a lot with the tribe relationships. Over on the Yasa tribe, Tiffany has been the one that was very clearly very distrustful, and is definitely obviously playing her game and not wanting to play with Evie and Liana, whereas it was clear that Xander and Voce wanted to play with them. So it just doesn't make sense why you then get rid of Voce. Like, and I think getting rid of Voce is actually the better move over Xander. I actually do think that's better on their part, but I think it is still the smarter move to get rid of the person that you don't trust and keep the 2 that one of them still doesn't have a vote, and you have the people who are more likely to want to go further into the game. You have more challenge strength to win these challenges, whereas over here there's no challenge portion to just deal with it. I think they're both very capable. JD actually had a lot of problems with the challenge too, which is another thing. I think that they spent a lot of time on this little moment of the challenge of JD trying to do the layup and it not working. But this is another case where Brad, the more trustworthy person who has given the keys to the kingdom of his game to Shan, and then JD, who is trying to hide the keys to the key of his kingdom and not let them know. And they choose yet again the person who is less trustworthy.
It's possible.
I'm sorry, but like I just don't see it as any other way. I think I think that it's more than just advantages. I really think that tribe dynamic is more important, and I just think that I think that no one is taking that into consideration. I think they're trying to play the game like they're like they don't recognize what a big move is. I think they think, oh, if I vote correctly and I helped in it, that's a big move, which is wrong. Like ultimately, just being in the right side of the votes is not a big move. And sometimes it's not good to be making big moves like this because it's just ultimately going to have no one with any trust making it to the end game, and who knows what happens at that point. Like you're basically rolling the dice and hoping that everything works out, which is ironic considering there's the shot in the dark advantage this season.
Yeah. Hasn't been used yet, but I feel like definitely during the merge we will see more of that.
Yeah, and also I don't know if you ever saw Voce's exit interview, but he specifically said that this season was so confusing. There was like, as a player, no one knew the rules or what was going on. Like, and which is
a little,
which is not good. You should not have players not knowing what the rules of the game are. Like, that's just clear indication, I think, that they try to throw so much into the season that is so new in a way that just ultimately messed up everyone's game. Like, I think there's so much going on that they're just not thinking about the game logically or strategically. I think they're just trying to think, how do I just make it to the next episode? Like, how do I just survive this tribal? Like, that's all they care about at this point.
There is a valid point to that. I feel like the main thing, because I feel like, I feel the combination of the, beware advantages and the shot in the dark. I feel the shot in the dark in it on itself is a good thing because it gives someone like, it's like that, like we kind of saw it in the beginning with Sarah and how, like, paranoia and stuff, it could make someone like lose a number, things like that. We haven't seen obviously someone play it, but the like added level of like gameplay there. I think the big thing is this idol that just doesn't it's just the condition to activate it is kind of similar to those who have watched Naruto at home. Hidan's like, there it's just like a lot of things have to go right in order for it to actually work. Whereas, it's much more simple to just either, like you said, either have it like an idol that's limited or you just aren't able to vote for the first one.
And also, like, maybe just instead of having them have to all say this ridiculous phrase at an immunity challenge, and hope that all three say it in the same challenge. Like, why not just have the hidden immunity idol hidden on like the path on that prisoner's dilemma? So now their goal is to try to get to that island to potentially go and find it. Like have like a little clue, like at this point at this like tree or whatever. Is it so that
we could see that, though. I feel like because like with this prisoner's dilemma, we did see a little bit of like it mixed up. It wasn't just an extra vote, it was also a they added like the whole thing with the tarp and then a steal a vote. I feel like we might see more of the variant, and I feel like one of those things could be a idol that does have power, maybe for like next 2 tribal councils or next 3 tribal councils, something like that. But we won't know until we get there. It definitely seems like there's a lot of craziness going on, and I feel like it's something where it is a little bit tricky. We just need to.
I mean, imagine if you had like your grandma or something. Like if you said, "Hey, let's watch the season of Survivor," like I just don't think that they're going to understand what's going on. Which is, I think, an inherent problem is that they're making the season for a specific kind of fan, like very much where it's just like, they want people to just be thinking game heavy instead of like actually, character building and like just proper strategy. Like everyone's just going out there as a game body, just trying to be like, here's a move, here's a move, here's a move. But like that's not the best way to play the game. That is terrible.
Yeah, it's. I still have faith in the season.
Yeah.
It's just because you're not the only one. On
Yeah.
my Facebook thing, I do see a lot of people are like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah, it's annoying because I love this premiere episode. Like I actually think the premiere episode was great. I think episode 2 was decent. I think it was okay, but this episode, I mean, it just seems like it's going in a downward trajectory for me, which is unfortunate because I like to be happy. I like to enjoy the episodes, but I just it's getting hard at this point. It's after episode 3, it's just like like something's got to change. Like it's already just
well, I
getting
mean,
bad.
I've seen the only thing that I can like. I know if there's like a twist that isn't working, they production does step in.
Yeah.
The only thing is this one is a bit harder to like step in with the like medallion thing they did in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
That one they were just like, yeah, we're just gonna take
Get
that
rid of
away.
it.
Or the
Yeah.
one beach thing that they
Yeah.
did in One World, they were like, yep, now you're on 2 separate tribes.
Yeah.
Or like you see, like production can step in and be like, yeah, we're just gonna amend that.
Yeah. Exactly. So, but it is hard because Xander has it, so they can't just say, "Okay, Xander, you ever vote again? Let's activate this idol, or let's take this idol away."
Yeah, I feel like once the merge happens, and then if this idol never gets activated, then it's like.
Yeah.
Then they'll probably be like, all right, merge, this thing is null and void.
Yeah, they should have put in, I think, the fine print also, and I think it would have made a huge difference is if it said that the way to activate this idol is either have it going into the merge or for those phrases. I think that would have also been very important things to say, because that would, in a way, like even if you find it early on, if you just win a bunch of immunities, technically you can still use it and it's fine. But it just, I mean, voting is just such an important part of this game. Like it is so stupid to take away someone's core fundamental aspect of the game, the whole reason you're playing the game, just because they found an advantage, like something that in every season has been advantageous.
I just feel like if the penalty or if the condition was easier, and the thing is it's not, and that's what's making it challenging.
I wonder if production thought that people would read Beware and then be like, "Oh, I don't want to get this then. Let me put it back." Like who is going to what Survivor player is going to find an advantage and not open it? Like Sydney, this episode literally opened it before she read Beware. Like no one cares that it says Beware.
Someone very skittish, but yeah, I feel like I don't know. I still have stock in this. I still have faith in this season. It's just
I'm really hoping. But so far, I would compare the season, in my opinion, to like a Ghost Island. Ghost Island had a lot of characters and good stuff pre-merge. Like the pre-merge was actually considered decently good, like over in Ghost Island. But then the problem was when you got to the merge, you had a bunch of people who you kind of just didn't care about, but like 1 or 2 people, and so you just kind of watch those couple
Ghost
people.
Island. That's like a top tier one for me.
Really? Oh no, it's a bottom one for me. It is.
It's like, maybe not like top. I definitely think it's in the upper 20.
Okay, name 10 Ghost Island contestants right now.
Donathan, Wendell, Dom, Kellen. We also have Sebastian, Laurel. We have the Seth Rogen guy.
What's his name?
Jacob. I had to think about it for a sec.
Okay.
We had Bradley.
Yeah, you're deeping into the pre-merge people, so there's going to be a lot of people in the middle here.
I'm trying to like, all right, the 8 is a good number.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that you know there's still quite a bit of pre-merge people that were the big characters that were good that went out way early, but and then you know you really just have a couple people, and then when it became just the Dominic and Wendell show where they just, and it wasn't like they were playing like a Rick Devens game where they were like doing crazy moves playing from the bottom. They were just on the top just being like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of this person now, yeah, now this person, and it just kind of becomes them just choosing who goes, and no one ever doubts that.
Well, I guess that's the thing of like, that's just why Dom is considered such a great player, though. I mean, it's like tricky. That's like it's tricky because it's like, you know, sometimes a great game doesn't make for the most entertaining season.
Yeah. Yeah, when also, you know, Ghost Island had a lot of time that got taken over in Ghost Island, and I think some of these things now that they're doing where people are going off to different islands is still in that same kind of vein where it's taking a really long time for really just like a small little advantage that like as much as like it feels big to get an advantage in the game, like an extra vote or a steal a vote, they really are very niche in terms of being able to use properly. Like you have to like you know you might only have one or two times in an entire game where that could make a difference. Like there's really only a few times, so when you have a bunch of time throughout the season dedicated to those moments, it just it's just not, it doesn't seem worth it. It feels like, you know, let's go back to camp already, like let's get out of here.
We'll see. We'll see. We're only seeing like a very the whole season isn't done yet, and I feel like I'm not like dying to defend this season with my life or anything. It's just more so like we got to see the whole picture in order to like really appreciate the art.
Yeah, and listen, I'm being critical right now just because of I think this episode deserves to have criticism against it, but that doesn't mean that I think this whole season is going to end up sucking. I think that it can always get better. I just think that right now it's heading downwards, and I don't like when I see it's heading downwards.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
But all right, we've covered pretty much everything just in a broad like scale of things.
Yeah.
I do have to say this. When Brad got eliminated, fun fact, this was actually the first episode I've seen live since Game Changers.
Oh, really?
Because like, you know, either A, work, or B, you know, like for this season, because I'm not working right now, I have some, you know, I have roommates, and you know, I share the love with the TV, of course. But like, you know, but when Brad got eliminated, I did get up and dance.
It doesn't make any, I hate it.
I know. I'm sorry. But
unfortunately for me, I have I get off of work at 7 on Wednesdays. So literally I get off work on my laptop and then hop over to Paramount Plus and watch it like right away. Like like it's literally like the quickest transition of my life. Just like, okay, quickly get there.
I mean, as long as you get to watch it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you love something, you find a way.
Exactly.
But yeah, okay. So since we've covered pretty much everything, who would you say is the crappy or gets the poo award?
I'm gonna give it to production. I think they're the least valuable player of this episode. I think that they had a lot of mistakes that could have been prevented, but they chose against it. So,
well, I'm gonna choose an actual player, and I'm gonna have to say JD. Mostly because of like how much damage control he had to do, as well as like
yeah.
style points.
I think he's definitely not winning the season now. I will say that. I think that his game has tanked so much that if he somehow wins this game, I mean, it's going to be so divisive. Like, I think some people are going to be like, "You did great. He should have lost," but then other people are going to be like, "Yeah, he should have lost." And like, he did so much bad.
He's grown on me as a person, but I still think.
Oh no, he annoys me honestly. I will say I've been annoyed of him so far.
I also like the parts where he was doing impressions. That was fun.
Yeah.
But I do see like like I feel like his game could improve, but right now he is definitely at a low.
Yeah. Okay.
And best player is undoubtedly Shan, in my opinion.
I have no one from the Uwa tribe on my favorites list of this episode. No one. I really am so against like the gameplay of this that you're gonna be so surprised who I pick as my most valuable player because they barely were on the screen.
Sydney? Tiffany?
Nope. I'm choosing Deshaun Radin because he won the challenge for Luvu. He got all of them by himself, basically. I think Danny got one. And then he came in and just killed it for the challenge and got them to win. So Deshaun is getting the MVP.
Well, damn. Damn.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts of how the gameplay of this episode wins. Is that I'm rewarding it to someone who won the challenge, which is great too for him because I criticized him in the premiere episode on his challenge performance because he kept being the reason they almost lost.
Well, I mean, I think like if this episode proved anything, someone can always improve their challenge. Because like with Tiffany, Deshaun was kind of like screwing up.
Yeah.
There's always a chance to like, do better.
Yeah. I mean, the Luvu tribe now, like especially now that Deshaun is pulling his weight even more. I mean, that's just another person that's scary on that tribe as a challenge competitor. And now, it's gonna be able to be the top 4 people over on Luvu versus all of Uwa and all of Yasa, and I just
we'll see. I don't know with this prediction. Is it possible they're going to throw the challenge, or is it just like preview hype?
Yeah, I mean, if they throw the challenge, I'm going to be upset if they throw the challenge. I actually like the fact that because of our drafting order and everything, that Luvu's the tribe that's like dominating, and we each have 3 people. So it's like if they can just make it to the merge, at least we're guaranteed 3 people each to make it there.
Yeah, I also like the fact that that one tribe is winning just purely because Danny and the fact that he's that it is mirroring our Brant Steele simulation that and how much of a badass he is just like community beast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious though. If they do through the challenge, are they going to be able to get rid of Nasir, or because it's quite often where people throw a challenge and then it backfires on them.
I mean, if we don't know. The thing is, we don't know Luvu's gameplay. We do kind of we get hints of like, oh yeah, like Nasir is kind of the target, but at the same time he's not. We don't know how they play yet. They're granted challenges, but we don't know how they are at the voting out tribal council dynamics,
strategic moves and everything. Right. I mean, they've had that kind of Kama alliance from Edge of Extinction where they're just all able just to get along and kind of just win challenges and make it through the game. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Throwing challenges is always an interesting one because I think that there can be good instances of throwing challenges. It's just that there's also a lot of instances of it going badly. So it's like, it's this, high risk. I wouldn't even call it a high reward. Like, I think it's a very small rewards.
Fair point. I don't know. It's something like
it would also be hilarious if they try throwing the challenge and the one of the other tribes still loses because that's happened before.
They just end up winning regardless. We'll see. on the next episode of Survivor.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's been this episode of the Day After podcast. Probably a good one because you get someone from both spectrums of how they feel on this episode.
Yeah. Someone who enjoyed it for what it was, and someone that was like, wait, hold up.
Yeah. So someone who looks way too deep into every little aspect of the game that gets changed or altered.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you guys have an awesome week, and we will see you next time.
Yeah. Adios.
Peace.